A retired teacher in Clark County had her home stolen, not by a burglar, not by the bank. Someone forged a deed on her house, walked it into the county recorder's office, filed it, and the county accepted it. No questions asked. She had spent over 40 arduous years in the public school system, educating thousands of children, carefully saving every single penny she could manage, and diligently paying down her mortgage month after month until she finally owned her property completely free and clear. She genuinely believed that her retirement was finally secure and that her financial future was solidly protected, but in a matter of mere days, her ultimate safety net was violently ripped away from her because her paid-off house was essentially functioning as an unguarded vault sitting in plain sight. This horrifying nightmare scenario is absolutely not an isolated incident, and if you own your home and you are over 60 years old, you need to understand that you are disproportionately at risk of losing everything you have worked your entire life to build. Scammers, highly aggressive unsecured creditors, and even your own local government bureaucracies often view your accumulated home equity as a massive, completely unprotected pile of cash just sitting there, waiting to be taken by whoever is bold enough to file the right paperwork. You might naturally assume that the legal system, the courts, or the local county authorities have stringent safeguards in place to rigorously verify identity before officially transferring the ownership of a valuable piece of real estate, but the terrifying truth is that deed conveyances are absurdly simple to manipulate. A seasoned criminal or even a desperate amateur can literally download a standard quitclaim deed template from the internet for free, forge your signature at the bottom, walk into a government building, pay a nominal filing fee of perhaps $30 or $40, and suddenly they are recognized as the legal owner of your property on the official public record. They can then immediately turn around and take out massive, high-interest hard money loans against your built-up equity. Or they can even aggressively sell the home out from under you to a completely unsuspecting third-party buyer, rapidly disappearing with the cash and leaving you behind to deal with the utterly devastating aftermath. The immense emotional stress and the exhaustive bother of trying to legally unwind a fraudulent property transfer can easily bankrupt you. It typically costs tens of thousands of dollars in unavoidable attorney fees and can take many grueling years to fully resolve in civil court, during which time you might actually face the very real threat of physical eviction from the exact same house you spent decades faithfully paying off. This severe vulnerability is precisely why it is absolutely non-negotiable that you take immediate, proactive steps today to lock down your title. Before we dive deeply into the exact 5 critical documents you must file to legally lock down your property and permanently protect your family from these predators, hit the subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss another vital video that could literally save your retirement. Now, let us honestly address the stark reality of your financial situation and exactly why you, as a senior homeowner, are considered a prime, high-value target. When you cross the age of 60 and your mortgage balance finally drops to zero or near zero, your home suddenly becomes highly visible on public property records to anyone who knows exactly how to search the county databases. You have effectively removed the bank from the entire equation, which means there is no longer a massive corporate entity with a vested financial interest actively monitoring the property title for suspicious or fraudulent activity. You are now entirely on your own, standing completely alone between ruthless financial predators and your entire life savings. We are going to permanently fix that massive vulnerability today by systematically building an impenetrable legal fortress around your property using 5 highly specific, incredibly powerful pieces of paper. Document number 1 is a formal homestead declaration. Depending entirely on the specific state you live in, the default automatic protections afforded to your primary residence vary wildly, but taking the initiative to file a formal homestead declaration is unquestionably one of the most powerful and fundamentally necessary defensive actions you can possibly take. In states like Massachusetts, Nevada, or Montana, voluntarily recording this specific document with your local registry of deeds instantly and legally shields hundreds of thousands of dollars of your hard-earned home equity from the grasping hands of aggressive, unsecured creditors. Imagine a scenario where you were to get sued because of a severe multi-car accident where your standard auto insurance liability limits were tragically exceeded, or consider what would happen if you unexpectedly faced a catastrophic medical emergency that resulted in massive, unpayable hospital bills. In those terrifying situations, aggressive debt collectors and their specialized attorneys would immediately look to your unprotected home equity as the easiest way to satisfy those massive financial judgments. Without a legally binding homestead declaration officially on file with the county, those relentless creditors could potentially petition the court to force the literal auction and sale of your house just to get their money. By simply filling out this straightforward statutory form, getting it officially notarized by a licensed public notary, and paying a very small recording fee at the county courthouse, you are legally drawing an unbreakable line in the sand that standard unsecured creditors simply cannot cross. It is an absurdly simple process that takes very little time, yet an incredibly uncomfortable number of homeowners over the age of 60 have absolutely no idea this vital legal shield even exists. You must proactively search your specific state statutes regarding homestead exemptions today, download the appropriate official declaration form, and get it filed immediately. However, here is the exact part that should bother you even more than the threat of unsecured creditors. The county government itself will absolutely not protect you from outright title theft. They simply act as a passive, unthinking repository for legal documents, which brings us directly to document number 2, which is officially signing up for a property fraud alert. Now, while this is not technically a physical document you file in the traditional paper sense, it is a vital, non-negotiable county-level registration that acts as your property's ultimate digital alarm system. Remember the tragic story of the retired teacher in Clark County? The county recorder's office gladly accepted the blatantly forged deed, and they never even bothered to send her a simple warning letter in the mail. They never picked up the telephone to call her and confirm that she actually wanted to voluntarily sign away her entire life savings to a complete stranger. They just mechanically stamped the piece of paper, updated the official public record, and moved on to the next person. Thankfully, many counties across the entire United States have finally started to realize exactly how incredibly dangerous this profound bureaucratic negligence truly is, and in response, they have recently implemented free, automated digital notification systems. You need to immediately go to your specific county recorder, register of deeds, or clerk of court's website and actively search for their property fraud alert system. Once you find it, you will carefully enter your legal name exactly as it appears on your original property deed, along with your specific property parcel identification number and your personal email address or direct mobile phone number. Once you successfully sign up for this program, if anyone ever attempts to record a new mortgage, a mechanic's lien, or a fraudulent deed conveyance against your specific property, you will instantly receive an automated alert. It literally takes 5 minutes of your time to completely set up, it is completely free of charge, and it crucially buys you the precious time desperately needed to immediately involve local law enforcement and hire a real estate attorney to freeze the transaction before a scammer can successfully borrow money against your home or finalize a sale to an unsuspecting third party. If you happen to live in a county that does not yet offer this free municipal service, you absolutely must seriously consider purchasing a commercial title monitoring subscription service, because leaving your property title entirely unmonitored in today's digital age is exactly like leaving your front door wide open, unlocking your safe, and going on a month-long international vacation. Now, before I get to the crucial details of document number 3, I must issue a very severe, highly specific warning about a particular government entity that absolutely does not care about your recorded homestead declaration or your digital property alerts. And that terrifying entity is the Internal Revenue Service. If you owe significant back taxes to the federal government, an IRS federal tax lien will automatically attach to all of your worldly property, prominently including your primary residence, and this federal lien completely and totally overrides any state-level homestead protections you may have diligently filed. The federal government possesses the supreme, unquestionable legal authority to forcefully auction your home to satisfy unpaid income taxes. And to make matters even worse, highly sophisticated scammers constantly monitor these public tax lien filings to easily identify deeply distressed senior homeowners who might be easily tricked, manipulated, or coerced into signing predatory rescue schemes that ultimately strip them of their remaining equity. You must always ensure your federal and state taxes are fully resolved and paid on time, because allowing a federal tax lien to officially hit your public property records instantly makes you a massive, glowing target for absolutely every bad actor operating in the shady underbelly of the real estate industry. Moving meticulously forward, document number 3 that you must strongly consider is enhanced title insurance. When you originally sat down at the closing table and bought your home years or decades ago, you most likely purchased a standard owner's title insurance policy. That standard policy was incredibly important at the time because it specifically protected you against historical title defects, hidden liens, or obscure legal claims that existed prior to the exact date you purchased the property. However, standard title insurance policies generally do not provide any coverage whatsoever for fraudulent events that happen after your closing date, such as post-purchase forgery or modern deed fraud. This massive gap in coverage is a critical, highly dangerous vulnerability for retirees who have owned their homes for several decades. You need to immediately pull out your original dusty closing documents from your filing cabinet, carefully check the exact terms of your existing title policy, and contact a highly reputable title company to inquire about upgrading to an enhanced title insurance policy. The enhanced version, which is very often legally referred to as an Alta homeowner's policy, specifically and explicitly includes robust financial coverage for post-purchase forgery and completely unauthorized deed conveyances. If a criminal successfully steals your home using a forged document, having enhanced title insurance ensures that the massive multi-billion-dollar title company bears the entire legal and financial burden of paying the expensive attorneys required to aggressively clear your title in court and fully restore your rightful legal ownership. Yes, upgrading this policy does require a one-time premium payment, but when you compare that relatively small cost to the absolute financial nightmare of paying entirely out of your own pocket for a complex quiet title action in civil court, it is undeniably an incredible investment in absolute, unshakable peace of mind. Document number 4 is widely considered by estate planning professionals to be arguably the most powerful wealth protection tool legally available to American citizens, and it is called a revocable living trust. If your completely paid-off house is currently deeded solely in your individual personal name, you are needlessly exposing yourself to severe, unnecessary risks and practically guaranteeing that your grieving heirs will eventually have to navigate the incredibly expensive, highly public, and deeply time-consuming nightmare of probate court when you eventually pass away. When you hire a professional to officially create a revocable living trust, you draft a comprehensive legal document that dictates exactly how every single one of your assets should be managed, protected, and ultimately distributed. More importantly, you then must file a brand new deed, legally transferring the official ownership of your property from your exposed individual name directly into the private name of the trust. Because the trust operates as a private, distinct legal entity, it makes it significantly harder for casual scammers, identity thieves, and predatory investors to quickly identify you as a potentially vulnerable senior citizen when they are illegally scraping public tax rolls. They vastly prefer targeting easy marks who have their individual, easily searchable names proudly listed on the county records. Furthermore, utilizing a revocable living trust allows you to maintain total, absolute control over your property while you are still alive. You can still freely sell the house, refinance the mortgage if needed, or completely change the terms and beneficiaries of the trust at any time without asking anyone for permission. But if you were to suddenly become medically incapacitated or tragically pass away, your hand-picked designated successor trustee can instantly step in and legally manage or distribute the property according to your exact written wishes, completely and totally bypassing the dreaded probate process. Probate is a highly public, painfully slow, court-supervised legal procedure that can easily drain many months or even several years of precious time, along with tens of thousands of dollars in mandatory attorney fees and court costs directly from your family's inheritance. By taking the proactive time today to properly set up a trust and meticulously filing the new deed to officially fund it, you are effectively hiding your property ownership from lazy, opportunistic predators while simultaneously giving your family the absolute greatest gift possible: a completely seamless, entirely private, and financially protected transition of your generational wealth. Finally, we arrive at the critically important document number 5, which involves aggressively securing your tax redemption records and formally applying for all available senior tax exemptions. To truly understand why this final step is so incredibly critical to your financial survival, you need to hear the heartbreaking story of a 94-year-old woman living in the state of Minnesota. She fell slightly behind on her property taxes, ultimately owing a relatively small sum of just a few $1,000s. Instead of helping her, the local county government ruthlessly foreclosed on her modest condo, sold it at a public auction for significantly more money than she actually owed, and then they legally kept every single penny of the excess profit, completely wiping out her entire life savings and leaving a completely vulnerable 94-year-old woman with absolutely nothing. This absolutely shocking, deeply predatory governmental practice, which is very often accurately called home equity theft by the government, was actually recently ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court in a massive landmark legal case. But the terrifying reality remains that simply falling behind on your local property taxes is still undeniably one of the absolute fastest, most guaranteed ways to lose your home forever. As you naturally age and transition to living on a strictly fixed retirement income, constantly rising property taxes can very quickly become an utterly unbearable, suffocating financial burden. You must immediately contact your local county tax assessor's office and officially file the necessary municipal paperwork to legally claim every single senior citizen property tax exemption, tax freeze, or tax deferral program that you are legally entitled to receive under your state's laws. Many states across the country offer massive, highly lucrative property tax discounts specifically designed for homeowners over the age of 61 or 65, but these life-saving financial discounts are almost never applied automatically by the government. You have to actively research them, explicitly ask for them, and properly file the formal application. Furthermore, you must diligently and consistently check your official tax redemption record every single year without fail to absolutely confirm that your submitted tax payments have been properly credited to your specific account, and to ensure that no obscure, easily forgotten municipal liens such as a tiny unpaid water bill, a minor trash collection fee, or an arbitrary code enforcement fine have been quietly and maliciously attached to your property's title. Predatory scammers and highly aggressive institutional real estate investors constantly and systematically scour these public county tax delinquency lists, specifically hunting for elderly seniors who might have accidentally missed a single small payment so they can quickly swoop in, pay off the minor tax debt, and eventually initiate a hostile foreclosure on the property to steal it for absolute pennies on the dollar. Do not ever let a simple bureaucratic oversight, a lost piece of mail, or a completely forgotten utility bill cost you the primary residence you worked your entire life to secure. So let us clearly and comprehensively summarize this entire protective process right now so you can confidently take massive, decisive action today. This is your ultimate, completely non-negotiable legal checklist to permanently secure your paid-off house, and the best part is that you can accomplish almost all of this critical work in just a single afternoon. Step 1. Immediately research your specific state laws and properly file a formal notarized homestead declaration to instantly build a massive, impenetrable legal wall between your precious home equity and highly aggressive unsecured creditors. Step 2. Go directly to your county recorder's official website right now, locate the free property fraud alert system, and officially sign up using your exact legal name and parcel number so you receive instant digital notifications if absolutely anyone ever tries to secretly tamper with your property deed. Step 3. Pull out your original real estate closing documents, carefully review your existing title insurance policy, and immediately contact a licensed title agent to officially upgrade to an enhanced title policy that specifically and explicitly covers post-purchase forgery and modern deed fraud. Step 4. Sit down with a highly qualified, experienced estate planning attorney to meticulously draft a revocable living trust and absolutely make sure you officially file the brand new deed transferring your home completely out of your exposed individual name and safely into the private legal protection of the trust. Step 5. Directly contact your local county tax assessor, properly file the official application for your senior citizen property tax exemptions to drastically lower your ongoing financial burden, and thoroughly verify your official tax redemption records to ensure absolutely no hidden municipal liens are secretly threatening your rightful ownership. These 5 surprisingly simple, highly actionable steps take the massive, utterly terrifying legal risks surrounding your home ownership and rapidly reduce them to completely manageable, everyday administrative actions. You have worked far too hard, sacrificed way too much over the years, and diligently saved for far too many decades to ever let a faceless scammer, a ruthless debt collector, or an unfeeling bureaucratic county office steal your absolute greatest financial asset right out from under you simply because you unknowingly left the vault door unlocked. You now possess the exact knowledge and the precise tools you need to immediately do what is necessary to completely protect yourself, your finances, and your entire family's future. If you found this detailed information incredibly valuable and you want to ensure you are always staying one step ahead of the countless hidden threats aggressively targeting your hard-earned retirement, hit the subscribe button right now and hit the like button right now. Do not selfishly keep this absolutely crucial, life-saving information to yourself. Think carefully of every single friend, family member, former coworker, or neighbor you know who is over the age of 60 and currently owns their own home, and send them this video today, not tomorrow. Today. We desperately need to look out for each other, build a strong community, and actively share these vital legal protections before it is too late for someone you care about. Finally, drop a comment below right now and explicitly let me know which of these 5 critical documents you are going to prioritize and file first. Or if you have already proactively set up a living trust or registered for a county property fraud alert, proudly share your personal experience in the comments so other retirees can read it, learn from it, and take the necessary action to protect themselves.